Hey everyone, it's Kat here from the Helpful Academy and welcome to another App of the Week tutorial where I tell you about an app that can help you in your business. Now this week's app is largely for freelancers or for people who are in service-based businesses that need to track their time. You know, you work with lots of different clients and you need to be able to track your time so that you can create invoicing at the end of the month, and it can be a real headache, right? So stay tuned because this week's app is for you. Okay, this week's app is called HarvestApp and it's one that I have used in my business for the last 4 years. And I've also used it for clients in their business for a broad range of service-based industries. So without further ado, let's jump on and take a look. Now the first thing I will tell you is that this is not a free tool. I mean, it does have a free option, but it's unlikely for most of you that the free option will cut it because you only get one person and 2 projects, and most of us would have more than 2 projects on at a time. So most of you will probably fall into the solo category, in which case it's $12 a month, or it's $12 per person per month for as many team members as you need. But the great thing is that you can try Harvest for free for 30 days and not even need to put in your credit card. So definitely worth giving it a try. The other thing that I want to point your attention to is that it has lots of different apps and integrations that it works with. So first of all, it as well as being able to use it in Chrome, which I'm going to show you today, you can also use it as in an app for Android or in an app for iPhone, and it even has a Harvest app for Mac or for Windows. It also integrates with a huge range of other software, whether you use Trello or Asana or Teamwork for projects or tons of other apps. Chances are, because this is such a well-established app, that it will integrate with what you need it to integrate with. So let's jump over and have a look. Now there's a few different screens in Harvest. The first one is all about tracking your time. So this is probably the one where you would spend the majority of your week. If we want to track time, all we do is we push new entry. We select the client that we want. So say we want client A and it's the fixed fee project. And then we can either start timer or we can manually enter the time. So say I want to enter half an hour, I would go update. We can also put notes about what we want. So we put the notes here, and these notes can be later exported into a timesheet to be provided for the client with the invoice. So it's really important to use proper grammar, capitalization, anything. If you want to use this as a timesheet, you can. So I'm going to push update entry. The other option is that they've just created an integration with Google or Outlook. So what will happen is once you've connected this integration, you'll see your calendar down here, and you can drag and drop things over, so it makes it a bit quicker to track your time that way too. The other thing that we can do is we can also submit expenses. So if you have a business and you have expenses for a client, then you can on-charge those to the client at the touch of a button. So that's the other thing that's really useful. Then we've got the projects area, and this is where you actually set up the project to begin with. So let's do a new project. We go new project and we can create a new client. So we'll call it ABC client, and then you can give it a name. So this might be website project or whatever you want to call it. Now there's a few different options. We can track by person hourly rate, task hourly rate, or project hourly rate. We can also do a fixed fee. So for the purpose of this, I'm just going to do a fixed fee, and what I really like about it is that you can also set a budget. So I'm going to set the budget as the total project fees, and I want Harvest to send me alert when I reach 80% of the budget. And then we'll do the task hourly rate. So certain tasks in the business might have different hourly rates. So say I have different people do different tasks and you know, or whatever. So it could be the person hourly rate, which is great for people like lawyers, barristers, all that kind of stuff, or it could be the task hourly rate. So you might have a different one for bookkeeping, or you might have a different one for graphic design, or you might have a different one for project management, for example. Then we can add people from the team. So I'm going to add some of my sample people so that they can also track time to this project, and we're going to save project. Next we have the team, and this is where you can see the different times that the team have spent on working and billable versus non-billable time. Then we've got some reports. This is a screen that I use all the time as well. You can see the billable amount and what percentage of your income is billable versus non-billable. You can also have a look and see the income per client, or you can track the income and hours per project, or you can do the breakdown per task, or lastly you can do the breakdown per team. And you can even generate detailed reports so that you can actually see like a whole bunch of useful information. Last but not least, we get to invoices, and this is the part that makes Harvest so awesome. So to do a new invoice, all we do is we push the new invoice button and we select the client that we want. So let's go for client A, and then we select the invoice type. So you can select a blank invoice, but I want to create an invoice for tracked time and expenses. So I'm going to go choose projects, and I'm going to choose this fixed fee project, and then I go review invoice. And that is as easy as it is to create your invoice. So I can apply tax if I am tax registered, and you can set the due date. So let's say I want it due tomorrow, and then I can save the invoice. Now, next I want to send the invoice, and as soon as I send the invoice, if I have Harvest linked with my Xero, it's actually going to send the invoice to my Xero as well. So I can send it from here, and I can write them a little note. The other thing that we can do is that we can actually set up payment for Stripe or PayPal. So once I send the invoice, the client can actually pay it online using either Stripe or PayPal. We can do reoccurring invoices, and once we've got a little bit more data in here and we've sent some more invoices, we'll even be able to track on a graph really easily how much we've invoiced for the month, how much has been paid, how many invoices are still open that haven't been paid yet. We can send reminders and even automate those reminders. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this little look around HarvestApp. If you trade time for money, I highly recommend using a tracking tool such as Harvest to help you automate your time tracking and your invoicing. That's it for me for today. I'll see you next week with another app of the week. See ya!